Alright, in a previous video I showed you this Kawasaki 450 and I paid $3,000 for 3 bikes. This one, and that one over there. So if you haven't seen that video, I'll put a link on the screen. Go check it out, get caught up to speed. I kicked and kicked and kicked this thing over and I was not getting it to start. So I pulled the engine apart. I don't see anything wrong with the crank. Crank has no up and down play. But I did find a couple things on the top end that might be our problem. Did have a Wiseco piston in it, and it's in decent shape. It's you know, doesn't look like it has a whole bunch of time on it, not much heat on the bottom. But here's the piston ring that was in it. You can see how corroded it is, and it's gonna be hard for me to show you, but it is corroded on the edge of the piston, or the edge of the ring. Yeah, you can see the corrosion right there on the edge of the ring. So that ain't that good. One thing else is, I wish I would have seen this earlier. Maybe I would have bought an actual piston, or at least a wrist pin. Is this has got some crazy grooving on it, but there's no, it's not like notchy. I mean, it's not like scratchy. It's smooth, and there's no up and down play on the wrist pin. So we're just gonna run it. I already spent money on the rings. They were 50 bucks. Another thing is I was thinking the camshaft gear slipped on the camshaft. So I ordered another hot cams. So basically what I read on the internet is these holes are supposed to line up. And you can see they're kind of off-centered. But this one doesn't have the holes in the lobe. But I don't know. It looks like, I don't know. Doesn't look like we actually had an issue, because those holes in those lobes aren't even centered. So it's kind of like an optical illusion. But if you look, like if you have the lobes up, the lobes kind of just peek through those two gears. And if you look here with the lobes up, I don't know if our gear actually slipped on this camshaft or not, but nonetheless, this is a stage 2 hot cam, so we should have more intake lift for longer. So I guess we're gonna go faster. Also bought an OEM cam chain from Kawasaki, and we got our gasket set and our fresh set of Wiseco rings. So at this point, we just need to put this thing back together and cross our fingers that the damn thing starts.
Kicked and kicked again. That KX just laughed at me, my friend. 06 iron with a stubborn soul. Didn't want to fire, didn't want to roll. So we tore it down to where the metal sinks. Swapped out those tired old piston rings. Wiseco shine in the morning light. Said, buddy, we're gonna make this right. Thought the cam gear slipped, yeah, that was the word. Till the new arcade came in and proved we misheard. Stage 2 power sitting in my hand. Either way, now we're giving it a chance. Will it start now? Will the beast wake up? Got a new chain ticket and the timing lined up. Heads reserved, face cylinders clean and proud. Hit that kicker. let's bring this KX back to life. Will it start now? Will the beast wake up? Got a new chain ticking and the dummy lined up. Heads resurface, cylinders clean and proud. Hit that kicker, let's see if she'll roar out loud. Will it start now? Will it start now? Will it start now? This is it, the moment of truth.
All right, I got the engine all back together, and we don't have the coolant hose hooked up. I don't have the subframe on, the muffler. I got it filled up with oil. Might have actually overfilled it by accident. Anywho, I did forget to check the valve clearance on the new cam. And there's also a possibility that, when I was handling the head, that the valve buckets came out and the shims came out and I put them in the wrong spot. But I don't know if that's really the case. It could be. But I'm here. I did go through the carburetor and everything was good in it except for this bolt hole right here was stripped out. So I had to put a 3-bolt with a nut for now. It's pretty small. I don't know if you can helicoil that one. So I also haven't locked down the jam nut on the tensioner because I guess I want to hear it run and maybe tighten it, loosen it, something like that. And I don't have any gas, so we're gonna try and start it on brake cleaner. This is my favorite method. And the whole point is here to just see if it's gonna fire up. Honestly, that ring was a little corroded, but I didn't really see anything too wrong with that. We thought the camshaft had spun, but I don't think that was it either. So, I don't know. Let's see what happens here. Maybe the new ring was all we needed. We'll find out. Oh, it's all backfire. Huh. Well, that's not getting us anywhere. Let's double check the timing. Not the timing, but the valve clearance. And then I guess I'll go get some gas. Okay, the two intake check out. This exhaust one checks out. But this one, I can't even get a 3/1000 feeler gauge in there. So we'll have to re-shim this bucket. Okay, I think the reason why we were tight is because I don't think that valve shim was in the bucket correctly in that little hole. It was kind of sitting right there to the side. But now the problem is when I was pulling these off, hell, I don't even know. Oh, when I was pulling these cam caps off, damn it, come on, freaking. Anyways, as I was pulling the cam caps off, one of these guys, these little oil feed tubes, decided to fall down in there where the timing chain is, and I just filled this thing with oil, so I'm not happy about that. Okay, I was able to get lucky and fish it out with this, and I put the shim back in the way it's supposed to go. Now we have the proper valve clearance, so I'm gonna put it back together and see what happens. Okay, valves are readjusted. I got that shim in there right. What else did I do? I double checked the timing. Timing is Gucci. I'm gonna kick it over a couple times with some brake cleaner, and if it doesn't start, I guess I'll go get some gas. It's doing the exact same thing it was doing before. Okay, I just decided to put some race gas in there. Really, it's just 100 octane, but you can see our accelerator pump is working. So let's try and kick this stupid thing over again. I think we might have a bad CDI or something at this point, because everything I've checked with the engine, you know, the engine's not new, but everything I can check out and, you know, go over seems to be good enough, or rather even in spec, right? I don't know, the spark in the previous video seemed like it was good, then it wasn't good. And the slow-mo didn't seem that consistent. I don't know. Let's, woo. I guess at this point, I'm going to, start kicking. Yee doggy. I don't like it. Alright, seems like we got good spark here. It'll be kind of hard for me to show you, I guess, maybe. But we got decent. Alright, I'm going to try it again. I don't have much faith at this point. I mean, all I did was take the plug to verify. We got fuel. Fuel is pumping. I mean, at this point, I could try another spark plug. But I feel like the compression is good, even though it's kind of hard for me to, I don't know, I guess you can't really test it on this unless I buy a whole bunch of different adapters and tools and stupid stuff. So, and honestly, I guess I could always throw it all back together and try and bump start it, which is kind of a pain. So, I guess let's give it a whirl here. What's going on with this freaking stand, bro? I'm not getting anything. It's got to be timing. He's backfiring out the intake, I mean. Which makes me think maybe the CDI is bad and it's firing at the wrong time. Which that seems like it would be either a stator or a CDI. Because the timing is set dead on. There's nothing else for... Go away, Steve. There's nothing else for the timing to be off. That intake cam is 100%. I'm gonna go grab another spark plug. If it doesn't start, we'll try and bump start it. And if it's not that, then it's either got to be the stator or the CDI, which I guess in the last video I did ohm it out on the stator with my multimeter, and that checked out fine. But I don't have the momentary voltage something or another. It's like a little inline thing. I'll put a picture here on the screen. Why is it so hot in this damn garage? It's supposed to be air conditioned. Why is the AC not fucking working now? Alright, so I double checked the timing. The timing is absolutely 110% good. I counted the teeth. The manual says it's supposed to have 29 pins between the different marks. I have it. It's 100% perfect. The timing is absolutely zero problems with that. I put a new spark plug in, and that's where I'm at right now. We got a fresh NGK plug, which our other one looks good. It's been sitting for probably an hour, so hopefully, it wasn't flooded, or it's definitely not flooded now, right? So let's see if we get anything this time. A little bit of go-go juice. Nothing. What? Alright, so hopefully you'll be able to see the spark here. Okay, I have almost zero expectations for this. If it starts up, it's a damn miracle. And this is honestly pretty difficult to do by yourself. All right. Ow. Sound like you wanted to start. Come on. What happens? Backfire again. It's got to be that CDI. Come on. What else could it be, damn it? It's got to be the stator or the CDI. It's not firing at the correct time. And then I'm going to put the other OEM coil on. Okay, it's the next day. I spent basically all damn day on this thing yesterday, and I could not get it to start. Matter of fact, I don't think we made any progress. It's doing the exact same thing it was doing to begin with. If I put some brake cleaner in there and, had the throttle open a little bit, it would backfire through the carburetor, which tells me timing. We have the new piston rings in here. We have our new hot cam. So we know we don't have a spun cam gear on the camshaft. But after we got this one, I don't think the one that was in here, I don't think that was spun. Now here is our line, our mark, right? Now keep in mind as well, we did have the flywheel off in here, and I know it's on there. The keyway is not sheared. Just keep that in mind. So we're at top dead center. Here is our mark right there. And then we go over here. There's the other mark. Now, so we know I looked in the manual. The manual says we need to be 30 pins apart. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Right there with the little dot. So the timing is dead on from what I can tell. Now, I don't necessarily know if there's an issue with the flywheel pickup or the stator. I don't know. I've gone over all the wires. I went over them in the last video and checked all the continuity. I guess I could do it again. I went through the carburetor, which even if we were having a carburetor issue, this thing should at least start up on the brake cleaner and, actually make, engine noises. And honestly, at this point, this video is not really like how I like to do my videos. But this thing's just gotten me so frustrated. I just don't really record that much what I'm doing, because I don't want to record something and then not do it right, because it's not running. So I'm like, I don't want to record it and show someone doing it the wrong way, if that makes sense. So here's our camshafts. They're pointed away. And I would say this one's pointed up just a slight little bit more. I don't know. Actually, I don't know. Maybe they're even. We also have the new timing chain. Now, I just reset the timing because yesterday I was trying, one tooth forward, one tooth back, thinking maybe that this camshaft was spun, but that all just made it worse. And on Grok, when I was asking AI, it was telling me 30 pins between the two marks. However, the manual knows best. The manual says 29. So I think our camshafts are good. Now, it's hard for me to do a leak down test because I probably said this earlier, but I probably didn't show it very well. You can see down in this hole, that right there, that's for when water gets down in that little spark plug hole. The water is going to drain out this hole that I have this red straw in. Now the problem is the compression tester will not fit in this little cavity right from here to here. That's the only little bit of cavity for the whatever it's called, for the compression tester to sit in. My compression tester is too fat, and I don't want to order. I don't see any online that look like they're promising that they're not going to, they're not going to fit in there. And now that I'm looking, to be honest, that hole down there looks a little crazy. Can we focus? Yeah, it looks a little crazy down in there. So, all right, so at this point, I'm just going to put the spark plug back on, throw the valve cover back on, put all my parts together. We're going to try to see if this thing will start up one more time today. I don't think that's going to be the case because I haven't really done anything different that I haven't already tried. So I'm looking for help from you guys to tell me what you think. It's still backfiring out the intake, which makes me think it's not firing at the right time, because our valve train timing, our camshaft timing, it's right. It's got to be right, unless there's something completely screwed up that I'm not, catching. The freaking keyway's wrong, the crank's wrong. This is an unknown machine. I am working on the CRF450R, and spoiler alert, someone tore that engine all the way down, and then they didn't fix it, and they just put it back. It had a bad crankshaft. They put it all back together and put everything finger tight, put it back in the frame. So that could be the same thing with this engine. I don't think that's the case, because you can see there's no fresh gasket, for the case sealant. I'm trying to think what else there is to say. So at this point, I still think it's a timing issue, but I think our CDI, it's possible our CDI, I don't know, is it even possible? This is cracked. Now, I looked on eBay, and a lot of these that they're selling are cracked like that. So, and we have spark, right? We have spark, but I don't know if we're sparking at the right time. It seems like to me, it only backfires really when I have a bunch of fuel in the cylinder. When I spray it with a brake cleaner and I give some throttle, right? And it only seems to backfire when I have the throttle open, bunch of fuel in the cylinder, and it'll backfire then. Which makes me think it's firing at the wrong time. Now, let me know down in the comments if you think a bad CDI, like, could the CDI just be like going so damn slow, like it gets the pulse from the stator, and then it comes up here and it's just like chilling out too long before it actually creates the spark. We've also had two different coils in there, so I don't think that's the problem. It's got to be either the stator or the CDI, or the stator, possibly the flywheel / magneto. It could be something in there. Maybe something's up with the flywheel. I don't know. So I guess at this point I'm going to put it on the tripod. I'm going to throw this thing back together, give it a couple more kicks, and if it doesn't start, well, I guess I'm going to have to resort to the internet, see what they tell me. I don't really want to spend money on a CDI. They're all second-hand ones these days. They don't make a Chinese one. Even though we found out in the last video the Chinese one for that doesn't really work that well to begin with. But so I'll be getting another 25-year-old or 20-year-old CDI, right? Now they do make the stators aftermarket, but anyways, I don't want to spend the money if that's not the problem. Okay, so I've gone over this thing, and obviously I'm missing something, right? It's not starting. Now I haven't tried to start it yet. I read over the whole electrical section in the manual, which, we have spark. So the problem is I don't think it's sparking at the right time. I tested the resistance on the stator, I don't know which one they're calling the stator, and then they call it the crank sensor. I've owned both of those out. Those are good. I don't have the peak voltage adapter, which basically is just a capacitor, because this thing only makes voltage for such a split second. Your multimeter can't read it. So I do need to order one of those. I ordered one before and it never showed up. It got lost in shipping, or they never shipped it. I don't know. So I gave up, got my money back. That's supposed to have 20 volts minimum. The manual also did say that the flywheel, the magneto, can go bad because it has magnets in there. That's what creates the energy, the voltage. That seems pretty unlikely. But I don't know. can't rule anything out at this point. The timing is dead on as far as that. Now the manual does say you can use a timing light, you know, just like you would on a car. Obviously, I guess you'd have to hook it up to a battery. And it says, you know, it should spark on that line. I think, which now that I'm thinking about it, shouldn't it be sparking right before or right after top dead center? So I don't have to read back on the manual on that and try and do a timing light. But the problem with the timing light is, I guess I could set it up with the camera, but otherwise I would need someone else here to, you know, do it with me. You know, I just don't know. So I need your help. All you guys in the comments. Honestly, some of you guys think you know it all, and I'm not saying you do or you don't, but you know, I'll say this: I don't put everything in the videos, right? So you see me check 5 things or whatever, I probably check 20. So I don't know. This one's really stumped me. I think I'm at least like 50 machines in on this channel, maybe less. I don't know, at least 50, 70, something like that. And this is the first one that's really stumped me. So I keep talking. I'm just trying to talk through my process. You know, there could be something else wrong with this engine. I can see here they got freaking sealant on the clutch cover. So I don't know. Could be something totally. It could have a bent crank, you know. I feel like if the crank is bent, it's bent so minuscule you can't see it with the eye. So anyways, let's just kick this stupid thing over. I'm going to be out of breath, I'm sure. The accelerator pump is working, just so you guys know that everyone thinks I'm retarded. Choke is on. Yep, that's enough of that. See y'all later. Alright, so I've edited the whole video up until now, and basically I have a couple other thoughts at this point. You know, the spark seems, I don't know, weak, inconsistent. In person, I thought it looked a little bit better, but after watching the video, it definitely looks like it's a weak spark. And also, I timed out one point where I was, you know, kicking it over. Yeah, I chopped up the video to where it was sparking, and then the sound of the piston coming up. And on the first kick, there was no spark. Second kick, it was like 0.3 seconds, and then all the other kicks were 0.6 seconds. So, you know, that tells me, I don't know, it's not consistent. So, I don't know. These are just the things I'm, you know, kind of thinking in my head. So with the spark being weak and inconsistent, it makes me think once that plug is in there, you know, air's moving in and out, it's not even sparking anymore. Maybe, I don't know. Because if we had spark, this thing would be backfiring every time, and you know, the motor would make engine noises. It would act like it would want to start with all that brake cleaner and the gas. You know, I think we have a spark issue. So I ordered the whatever it's called, the peak voltage adapter tester. I already put it in the you know, the video, but I'll put it in the description. Uh-oh, here comes Steve. So once I get that, I'll be able to test the stator for its voltage. Now I already did ohm out the stator, and the ohms seem to be good. So, and the ohms are all in spec, but we do need to test the voltage. And if that checks out, you know, I guess the stator tests good. And then we need to start looking at the CDI, because we did try 2 different coils on this thing with no difference. That's where I'm at on this machine. We just hit 5,000 subscribers, so I appreciate to everyone. I want to welcome all the new viewers. I'm working on this bike over here, the CRF 125 pit bike slash big bike build. Gonna be working on this next, so make sure you subscribe. Almost 90% of the people that watch this video are not subscribed, so be sure to subscribe. This is coming up, and I got all these other machines. It's kind of depressing because nothing really runs right now besides that one and that one over in the corner, but the transmission's bad. So this one does run. All right, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe. We'll see you in the next video.
Real Jesse Peterson finds in the rough dirt bikes.